I'm Vaughn, probably already know that, and welcome to my mindset training. Now, I do believe that our mindsets are our most valuable assets, but I want to be clear here in these modules, I'm not trying to change your belief system. I'm not trying to get you to believe that your mindset is fucked and you should change it, and the main thing that's holding you back and making you unhappy in life is your fucked up mindset. I'm not trying to get you to believe that at all. I am merely sharing my beliefs, my philosophies, and what I believe are my greatest asset and what I believe have enabled me to live a happy life, live a fulfilled life, find success. So I fundamentally am not trying to change your opinion here, force any beliefs on you. I don't believe that my belief system is right and your belief system is wrong. I only believe that I believe the way that I believe. I don't even know why I believe that way, other than I do. So I don't want you to go in to this mindset training thinking, okay, I think your mindset's fucked and you need to believe the way that I believe. Maybe I should believe the way you believe. I really don't know. But what I will do in these modules is I will go through my belief system and my philosophies and what I believe is a proper mindset for success. And you can take that or you can leave that. The only thing I would implore you is that you go through these modules with an open mind. You see, I believe that our mindset is our greatest asset. And I believe that it is our mindset that allows us to find the success that we're actually looking for. But more importantly, it's our mindset that allows us to live through the failures and live through the adversity. So it's our mindset that's going to allow us to actually be happy internally. And that internal happiness is going to project outwards and is going to allow us to actually find success. But at the same time, through this journey, through this road to the success that we're looking for, we're going to come up with failures. Life is going to throw a bunch of bullshit at us, and it is our mindset that is going to allow us to actually deal with all of those things. So all I ask is that you understand that I'm no one, I am nobody, my beliefs are nothing, I don't believe that they are right, I don't believe that your beliefs are wrong, but I would like you to go through these modules with an open mind. Most of my beliefs and most of my philosophies are going to come from Socrates, Plato, old Greek philosophers, and essentially from the Buddhist religion. I'm not a religious person. I don't necessarily believe in God. I don't necessarily disbelieve in God, but I have found the Buddhist religion to be something that has been very awakening for me and my mindset. So if you watch my intro video, then you probably understand that I come from a very colorful background. My father was a Baptist preacher. He was an abusive psychopath who mentally, physically, sexually abused and tortured my brother and my two sisters. Me specifically, as the baby of the family, I feel like I and this is just my personal feelings, I feel like I got the brunt of it. I feel like I got the most of it, that I was the most hated child. And for a long time, I couldn't actually live with myself. For a long time, I carried a huge chip on my shoulder, and I was such an angry and such an unhappy person. And actually even to this day, a lot of that still sticks with me, where I have days where I just feel like self-sabotaging, and this is a hard thing to deal with whenever you run a multi-million-dollar company. It's a hard thing to wake up and just feel like walking into an office and firing everybody, telling every paying customer that you have, even though they haven't done anything wrong, that they can go fuck themselves, that you hate them, because you want to see the whole world and the whole system just crash and burn, all right? But I do believe, there came a pinnacle time in my life. I don't want to, because I'm not a marketer, I don't want to sound like a marketer and say, okay, I had this epiphany. There was this moment. There was this moment when my entire life changed, when I stopped feeling sorry for myself and I stopped looking at all the bad things or the things that I thought were bad. Because see, in this mindset training, probably one of the things that I'll be sharing with you is there are no real bads and there are no real goods. And I understand that in today's society, and I understand that in the average mind, it's hard to believe, and it's hard to take this at face value that, there is no self, and, there's not a John Vaughn, and there's not a you, that there is just one large connection, and there are no rights, and there are no wrongs, and there are no goods, and there are no bads. There's just conscious beings and the feelings and emotions that we project out into the world. But you see, for a long time, I felt like I had had all these bad things happen to me. When my father was, was beating me senseless for the most trivial things, I would get beat. And as I grew up, I was forced to learn to deal with my emotions and hide my emotions. To give you an example, I remember, my dad, not only was he a Baptist preacher and a missionary, but he sold mobile homes. So he sold trailers. We grew up poor, dirt, white trash, living in a single wide trailer, free lunch poor. Like I was that poor kid at school that wore clothes that didn't actually fit him because they were hand-me-downs from my 5-year-old older brother. We lived in a single wide trailer. I was on a free lunch program. I had a speech impediment where I couldn't actually pronounce R's properly. I was bullied and picked on at school, and then I was also abused at home. And I remember my dad came home one day and he brought me some toys. He had sold a new house. He had sold a mobile home, a trailer, to somebody, and they had traded an old single wide. They had traded an old single wide in for the house, kind of like you do with a car. You take your old car into the dealership, they give you some money, and you use that as a credit to your new car. The same thing happens in the trailer world. You take your old single wide trailer, and they'll take that in on trade, and you can use that as a credit for your new double wide that you're going to buy. So these people had came in and they'd bought a house from him, and they traded in their old trailer, and they left it a mess. And there was a bunch of army men and cars and old toys that were inside that trailer. And like I said, we were dirt poor, like really, really dirt poor, free lunch dirt poor. So my dad brought home these toys, and he put them inside a bucket, and then he went inside and he boiled some water, and he poured that boiling water on those toys to disinfect them, because he was going to give them to me so I could have some toys to play with. So I remember, and I have lots of stories like this, but I remember very distinctly, it was in Lakeland, Florida, and he asked me to get the toys out of the water. Now, he's a grown man, and the water's steaming. Literally, the water is still steaming. He just brought it to a full boil, dumped it in, had been in there for about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. He asked me to go in, so I go in, and I reach in to start pulling the toys out, and the water's still boiling hot, and it's burning my hands, so I pull my hands out. So he starts yelling at me. He's like, I said, get those toys. So I try to go back in and get those toys, and the water's hot, and I pull my hands out, and he yells at me again. He said, I said, get those fucking toys. So, at this point, I'm scared, because almost every day of my life, I'm getting beat up. I have black eyes every day, busted nose, broken ribs, broken bones, because my dad is an abusive psychopath. So I'm scared shitless, and I think, I better get these toys. If I don't get these toys out, I'm going to get beat. So I stick my hands down in this boiling hot water, and I start pulling out these toys and putting them on the ground, and my hands are burning. I'm in this agonizing pain, but I know that if I don't get these toys out, I'm going to get beat. And the pain that I feel right now is not going to compare to the pain that I have to actually live with if I don't appease my psychopathic father. So I'm pulling these out, and they're burning, and my hands are getting burnt, and I'm getting blisters on my hands. And I can't say, hey, this is burning. You should know, because you're a grown-up. You should know that this is burning hot, or I'm going to get beat. So I finally get all these toys out, and I have blisters on my hands, and I'm sitting there starting to cry, and my dad's asking me, what are you crying about? What are you crying about? And I'm like, my hands are burning. And he grabs my hands, and he looks at my hands, and he sees them all blistered, and he starts hitting me, starts smacking me in the face. What the fuck's wrong with you? Why didn't you tell me your hands were burning? Why didn't you tell me the water were hot? So these are literally everyday memories that I still live with today. And for a long time in my life, I looked back and I reflected on these memories, and I felt, I felt like the world had done me wrong. I felt like all these bad things had happened to me, and that was a chip on my shoulder. That was a reason that I couldn't get to where I wanted to go, that I couldn't accomplish this. I felt like I deserved to be angry at the world because the world did not know and the world did not understand the things that I went through and the things that I endured, and they didn't have to go through that, and they thought their life was hard. They were angry, they were upset about their simple life. Meanwhile, as a kid, I'm getting beat every single day, and I'm having to live in constant fear from the people that are supposed to actually love me. So I was so angry just looking on the outside, like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? What are these people so angry about? What's so wrong in their life that they're fucking angry? And it took me a long time. And I had an epiphany, actually. I was sitting in a jail cell. I was sitting in jail, and these non-religious ministers came in, and I wanted to go. They were taking us through guided meditation. So they were taking us through guided meditation, and I wanted to go just because I wanted to get out of my jail cell and have some freedom and be somewhere else other than the little cage that they were keeping me locked in because of an alcohol and drug abuse problem that I had developed, because I thought that was my out of reality. I thought, you know what? I can't deal with all this pain and all this hate and all this anger inside me, that I hate my life and I hate reality so bad that I can do these substances, I can get drunk, I can get high, and everything will go away. I can be in another, because I was running away from my problems. So I ended up in jail. So these non-religious ministers come in, and they're going to take us through guided meditation. So I'm like, yeah, bet, I'll go. So I go, and they take us on guided meditation. And what they do, and meditation is amazing. It's one of the things I'll be talking about here in this mindset training. So I go, and they take us through this meditation process, and what they have us do is they have us create a workshop in our head, okay? So they walk us through the process of creating this workshop in our head. So I create my workshop in outer space, right above the earth. It's made out of glass, and it's decked out with technology, and I have a system where I can create any reality that I want, and I can go back in time to any memory that I want, and I can confront that memory. And it was at that time, actually in that workshop, where so these people started coming to the jail often, and I started going to this guided meditation with them. I started going there, and what would we do in that guided meditation? We would close our eyes, and we would go through this meditation process, and we would go into our workshop. Mine was a glass workshop in outer space, right above the earth, sitting in outer space above the earth, where I could look down at our beautiful globe planet, and in there I could recreate any memory that I had. I could construct any reality or any feeling that I had, and I started going to these guided meditations, and it was through that process that I realized that I'm a conscious being, and I control everything. So if I wish to get offended, if someone says, hey, fuck you, John, you're a skinny, drug addict-looking motherfucker, they could mean all the hate and all the offense and all the ill will in the world, but it's me who has to take that. It's me that has to receive that. And I can either receive that hatred, or I cannot. I can either get upset about that, or I cannot. I could actually look at all the things that I went through in my life that I thought these are the worst things that I went through. These are such disadvantages for me. And I could look at those things, look at all that adversity as a disadvantage, or just as easily, I could look at it as a superpower. I could use those things as crutches and as weaknesses and as excuses and cop-outs and on reasons on why I should get to be an asshole, or why I should get to just be drunk and be high, or I could use them as motivations to go wherever I wanted to go. And once I realized that the most powerful thing in the world is my brain, the most powerful thing in the world is my mind, because my thoughts are mine. I own them. The way that I act, the way that I feel, I own that. I control that. And no one can really actually take that from me. So From there, I've started studying the Buddhist philosophy, and I've studied several different religions. But anyways, like I said, in this mindset training, I just want you to come through with an open mind and realize I'm not trying to change your beliefs. I'm not trying to get you to throw away your entire belief system and think, okay, my mindset and the way that I think and the way that I behave is wrong. I should change it. But I do want you to have an open mind, and I do wish and I do implore you to question your beliefs, to question the way that you are and see, is that the best way? Is my mindset moving me forward, or is my mindset holding me back? Are there things that I could change? Are there things that I should change? Are there things that I will change? Or should I stay just the way that I am? All right, so that's my disclaimer about this mindset training. I don't want you to think that I'm here trying to say, hey, I'm right, my views are right, your views are wrong, because I don't even know if my views are right. For me, they're right. They feel right for me, but they may not be right for you. So I don't want you to think that I'm trying to change your mind here. I'm trying to make you to believe something different, or I'm coming here saying, hey, I know this because I know nothing, okay? So merely here in this mindset training, all I'm doing is expressing my thoughts and expressing my beliefs. And just basically, the way I want you to look at this mindset training is I'm just talking for the sake of talking. So I'm just going to be here talking for the sake of talking, and I hope you enjoy my talks.